Next up, we move along. It is UCLA and San Diego State. UCLA double-digit road favorites here, 50 being the total in this game. When you look at UCLA and San Diego State, UCLA, they got the job done. It wasn't pretty. Certainly wasn't pretty for their offense last week against Coastal Carolina. I think there's some there's some worries here with UCLA offensively, I think, right now. Ethan Garbers, of course, quarterback, okay, not necessarily spectacular, though, in the win against Coastal last week. We'll see, because they've got, Colin Schlee. Dante Moore actually got into that game for UCLA last week. I think long-term he's going to end up being the starting quarterback, quite honestly. I thought he impressed a little bit more than Ethan Garbers did for UCLA. So it's just a question of, how long is Chip Kelly going to go before he makes that final determination, who's actually going to be the guy at quarterback moving forward. San Diego State, we talked about how they kind of lucked their way into a victory against Ohio in their first game because Curtis Rourke got injured, didn't return, and kind of changed the complexion of that game. They survived. They hung on for a 20-13 win, and they were far from impressive. You talk about a 34-point favorite that barely won straight up. We talked about that with Arizona State just a minute ago. How about San Diego State? 34-point favorite against Idaho State last week. They end up winning the game 36-28. I'm not looking to bet back San Diego State. To me, the question is, can UCLA win by enough of a margin on the road here to get the job done? That offense clearly post DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, work in progress. I thought the defense actually played pretty solid for UCLA against, Grayson McCall, a fifth-year starter. Although I don't want to make too much of that, because to me, I think Tim Beck, who's the head coach of Coastal, I said this all summer, I'm worried that he's going to undo a lot of this great offensive creativity that Jamie Chadwell put together every year at Coastal Carolina. So I think there's still some questions about, how great of a performance that was from UCLA's defense. 48.5. So this is one of those where I might bet over just because of where the number is. It's 48.5, 49. It's a very low total for a UCLA team that we know is going to play up tempo, is going to play fast. I'm just hoping we see more Dante Moore, because like I said, I thought he was the more impressive of the quarterbacks in the game. Now it's funny, Colin Schlee, the Kent State transfer, was forgotten man. Chip Kelly ended up only playing Garbers and Moore. Schlee never saw a snap against Coastal last week. So the battle's ongoing. I don't know if San Diego State's defense is as good as it's been in the past. Let's be honest. They shut down Ohio because, look, Curtis Rourke left the game. And after that, Ohio was moving the ball against San Diego State before Curtis Rourke got injured. And on the flip side, San Diego State's trying to be more explosive offensively with Jalen Maiden. They're trying to throw the ball more. Ryan Lindley's made that a focal point all summer long in fall camp. We got to try to be a little more explosive, be a little bit more vertical. I know we've been a run-heavy, plodding offense for years here with the Aztecs, but we got to try to instill some sort of creativity into this offense. So we put those factors together. I'm making a small case for the over just because the number's low at 49. What do you think here, Conor?
We got to hit up our chat. Shout out to the chat. Lucas, Johnny K, Preston, Brian Watson, Wine Time. What's up, my dude? Jeffrey Moore, Mr. Heat, Joker, Coin, Steve G, Harold Williams, Mark L, Canes Nation. What up, my dude? JW, James S, everyone in your Kongs clips. Appreciate all you guys. Hit the like button. That's all we asked for. I thought this game was a little bit interesting, Babano. I don't think both these teams are pretty good. You talked about Coastal, had a fumble that they lost, 2 picks there. And on the flip side, UCLA had 2 or 3 interceptions, I believe. I think 3, right, by the 2 quarterbacks. So there could have been more points on the board in that game. And I was not impressed with UCLA. And on the flip side, I wasn't impressed with San Diego State. They did, like you talked about, beat Ohio. They just barely beat Idaho State. But I think they can move the ball a little bit, and I really want over 2 touchdowns here. I'd be on San Diego State because I'm just not impressed on the road. This UCLA team laying that, and I'm already right now like the 13.5. I'd just like to get 2 touchdowns. And yeah, maybe this total is just a little bit low. We talked about it with San Diego State. couple weeks, they started to go over. They're just a different football team than that stretch of probably, I don't know, 8 years or so where they're under was just money with them. So yeah, I'm gonna wait on the total, but UCLA on the road laying this. I am very interested in San Diego State.